Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel. You've got Bert, the Hurt, and Lanny, the Dividend Diplomats, guys. And we're going to talk about a stock that could still be a no-brainer after I feel like it's been a no-brainer for about 2 to 3 years straight, guys.
Smash that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. Holla at your boys. The Dividend Diplomats. It's time to talk about a no-brainer stock. It's time to talk about everyone's favorite company. This one has a special place in the dividend investing community's heart.
Oh, yeah. We're definitely going to be pulling some heartstrings here, guys, because I'd be shocked to see who doesn't own this dividend stock, a stock that produces monthly passive income, a stock that increases quarterly that passive income stream, a stock that just nudged up that dividend income payout, guys. We are talking about none other than the 98.5% occupied buildings, the 91 industries, this 1,500 plus different clients, guys. Oh, it's magic. Realty Income, the monthly dividend stock, guys. Man, you were stacking shares. Was that in 2024 or 2023?
I can't even remember anymore, but I was stacking shares when it was in the high 40s, and there was a dip for it, and I kept scooping it up to build a pretty large position. I think I get at least every month over $60 now from Realty Income. So I'm dripping at least one share and have been for the last year or so.
Yeah. And I think I remember that was your goal, was to get it to the drip as one share.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted. And I'm happy where I am, and I wish I would have added more because it's had a nice little run up here so far, Lanny, at least in the last month or so. Their price is now back over $57 per share. So
And you got to keep this in mind. If Bert's getting $60 a month, that's talking over $720 per year.
yeah,
And that's growing because he's
right.
reinvesting that at 5.5% current yield plus, and it's growing at around 3 to 4% every year on the dividend growth front. So that is just a machine.
Yeah, it's huge. And this company, what makes it so they obviously pay the monthly dividend, which is huge and everybody likes it. But what also brings the appeal is the diversification amongst its top tenants. So what you see with some REITs is they have a heavy concentration in their top 4 or 5 tenants. That isn't the case here with Realty Income. Their number one tenant is 7-Eleven, and their top tenant makes up 3.4% of their rent. So they're not overly exposed to any one type of company.
Hey, plenty of people that love to pop in, get that slushy, and get a hot dog from 7-Eleven, guys. There are some risks out there with Realty Income, just like any REIT. Obviously, interest rates remaining high is always an issue for REITs. Keeping occupancy at a high rate is an issue if the industries that they're in are suffering. Insert Walgreens. Walgreens is, doing some very terrible things, closing doors by the wazoo. Very minimal impact, as Realty Income has been stating to them.
Yeah, they made that point very known in their earnings call transcripts. They are not the locations from Walgreens that are getting cut. That is other REITs that have those properties.
Exactly. And then they've got their foot tied in pretty deep with dollar type stores, such as your Dollar Tree, Dollar General, I believe, as well. So they've got some skin in the game there. Now, that industry has been suffering, but who is to say that industry may come back around if they get their act together? But I know they're going through a whole tariff issue thing right now as well.
Yeah, and that's fair. So you think the broader economy, you start seeing slow down. Some of these tenants have to cut back on their leases, break them. That's where Realty Income could potentially suffer. So it is a huge risk to consider, but it's been mitigated, as you said, by that 98% occupancy rate, Lanny.
But this could be still a no-brainer stock to buy. Bert, I know you own it in your Roth IRA, protecting that taxation on that high dividend yield, guys. So let's see why it's a no-brainer outside of the fact of the high occupancy, outside of the 1,500 clients in the 91 different industries that they're in. Let's look at the stock. We're looking at it as of close on June 13th, filming this here late on June 15th, guys. Ticker symbol is O, up 10%, now trading at $57.64 right now. When we evaluate REITs, we look at it from the adjusted funds from operation versus the earnings per share. So that AFFO is 424. So the price to AFFO, again, just taking that first quarter and annualize it, is about 13.6 PFFO ratio.
Yeah, their annual dividend is $3.23. That was after their last quarterly dividend increase. Gives you a payout ratio of 76%, which relative for a REIT is very low. You'll see a lot of REITs trade in the 80%, the 90%, because you have to pay out such a high percentage of your income and your AFFO. Realty Income's in very manageable in that 70% range.
Exactly. Now, 5-year growth rate is about, I just took this last dividend, took back 5 years ago and divided it by 5 after, looking at it from 5 years ago. About a 3% plus dividend growth rate on average right now, which is not too bad. They're an aristocrat. Seeking Alpha says 31 years. I feel like it's a little bit less than that, but we'll go with Seeking Alpha's 31 years that they print on their website. So very solid. 31 years of just not only paying dividends, but growing dividends.
Yeah, and that yield is 5.6%. So you take that 5.6%, you add 3.04 to it. That's a 9.64% dividend factor right there, which is beautiful.
Fantastic. Yep. You've got to love that, guys. Now, again, they're up about 10% this year. So they have come back, quite a bit from their down years of 2022, 2023, 2024. Still down over the last 5 years, though. So you're actually still getting a discount from 2020s, guys, during the COVID time period. So just keep that in mind. Yeah. Keep that in mind, because that's very hard to accomplish right now, is to have a 5-year negative performance from that pandemic time period, to be lower than that, especially at record low interest rates, because they should have just been, booming.
Yeah, so let's re-summarize the metrics here. The price to AFFO ratio, 13.5, payout 76, 5-year growth rate 3%. They're a dividend aristocrat, increasing for 31 years with a yield of 5.6%.
They continue to impress. I mean, despite all the news, headlines, macroeconomic events, they keep their payout ratio very safe from a REIT standpoint. They don't have to wow you with a 10% growth rate. They've got that 3 to 4% dividend growth every year. Guys, they haven't missed a beat in paying dividends, and with their diversification, I feel like they're going to be an okay stock for sure to own always. Good safe havens in your retirement account as well.
Yeah, pays a nice monthly dividend as well. That's always nice. And the diversification amongst the REIT itself, amongst the sectors, the different types of companies they have without having too much exposure to one company is critical, and why they've been so successful over the years.
Exactly. So that's why we think this is a no-brainer stock for investors, guys. Let us know what you think in those comments. Again, if the metrics are looking great for a buy, again, do your own research, but we think this stock is still a buy right now.
All right, everyone, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, give this video a thumbs up. Remember, you're either with us or you're against us, Jack.
That was Bert the Herd and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats. Over and out.